have here a Marvel universe that is unapologetically black.
So she's the bad guy. She's getting ready to come in this door. She can't pull it forward because I'm grabbing it. I reach under here and I just drop. So Palestine Baptist Church came to us after the Texas church shooting and wanted to get a safety team together. This church has hired me to come in and teach them how to identify, prepare, be aware, and respond to an active shooter or a violent attack. So during this service, I'll walk around and I'll be looking for locked doors, the situation of the nursery, the preschool, the Sunday school with the kids, and then just get a general feel of the property. Their pastor is a retired police officer. They're just trying to be one step ahead to keep that property secured and safe.
That's what we've been entrusted to do.
So we'll go around and we'll check where the kids are and we'll see how that's locked down and see if we can just walk in there right now. Locked doors are a good sign. They've got it locked down, which is perfect. There's no open door where I can just walk into where the kids are. And that's a vulnerable area, is our kids. Not only for an active shooter attack, but for an abduction or any other incident that could occur. So they've got this whole facility locked down. Service has started, facility's locked down. It's perfect, perfect. A lot of people would look at this and maybe you see beautiful countryside, but I see running out of the church because there's an active shooter inside and I see snipers all up in that wood line starting to take people out for secondary attack. So, but let's just go with today, it's just a beautiful countryside. I'm Marco Galbraith and I'm the owner of T4 Tactics in Lynchburg, Virginia. If I'm sitting in the congregation right now, sitting here, and I stand up and I want to take a shot at the pastor, it's not run, hide, fight. It's attack me, attack me. We go to businesses, churches, schools, hospitals, and we teach them active shooter response or how to respond to a violent workplace attack. We also teach self-defense classes and firearm safety classes for concealed permit and multi-state concealed permits. I've been a police officer in the Daytona Beach area for 22 years. During that time, I was assigned to task forces, homicide investigations, violent crime investigations, special unit investigations. I was a hostage negotiator for 12 years. So with that, you have to study a lot of human behavior. And that's what this is all about. How people are going to respond to an attack and then how the attacker is going to carry out the attack. And they're going to come in and they're going to show. Most of the knee-jerk reaction to the horrible Texas church shooting was people are arming themselves in churches. That may not be the answer. How many concealed holders do we have in here? Good. Wow, good. We have to have a plan about concealed holders. The knee-jerk reaction to the Texas shooting was let's arm everybody in church. Bad. Really bad. So have a plan. So we don't just want everybody standing up and shooting because we're going to have a lot of injuries and deaths from crossfire. It's not right for me to go in and say, if this happens, this is what you do. Pulse nightclub was planned differently than San Bernardino. San Bernardino was planned greatly, much differently than the Las Vegas attack. But what I do is I throw a lot of scenarios at them and say, if they come in this door, this is what you do. If you come in this door, this is what you do. If the attack is like this, here's what you do. You may be in one room at the church and this is the plan for that room. You move to another room with different dynamics, different locations, different stairwells, different exits, different windows, and the plan totally changes. I need a volunteer. Come on up. Wow, one from the back. So she's the bad guy. Hold that gun. Good. Yeah. So she's the bad guy. We're locked in a room, and here she comes. And I know she's getting ready to come in this door. So I get one person on this side, and this is why we train as a church. So when she comes through the door, I grab under here. Now she can't pull the gun away. She can't pull it forward because I'm grabbing it. I reach under here and I just drop. And you feel how that just gets out of your hand? So now you try it. One arm goes under here. Yep, all the way under. And then wrap this like you own it. And then drop. I can't get that gun out. There's no way I'm getting that out. And the other person jumps and we go to business on that guy. Give her a hand. My business is doing well, and from a business standpoint, I'm very pleased. I wish that there were not as many active shooter events, so it's kind of bittersweet when I get busy. I always get busy after an active shooter event. I'm glad people are being trained, but I don't like to see what's happening in the country.
We're so glad that you came and spent time with us. We do live in a different day and a different time. And so all you sheepdogs out there, now's the opportunity to identify and train. That's what we need to do. Let's pray. Father, thank you for this evening. And I pray as our brother goes and instructs other communities of faith, other churches, other businesses, God, that many lives will be saved just because of the proactive nature of being able to try to distance ourselves from any potential harm. But if harm should come, we'll have a plan. And it's in the mighty name of our Savior I pray. All God's people said?
Amen.
Hey, y'all have a great evening. Thank y'all.
Come here. Come say hello.
Hi, baby. Oh, hello.
I have people that speak to me and they're 100% against firearms. That's fine. I understand that and I respect that. But for me, I want to carry one, and maybe it's because I was a retired police officer, but in the business I'm in, but for me, I want to carry one for my own personal protection. Because the reality is, we're having attacks all over this country. I'm pro-Second Amendment, and I feel that we should keep the right to carry and responsibly carry firearms. One of the classes that I teach, and this is really fun, but in date night, we kind of transform the classroom into a nice setting. Candlelight, non-alcoholic wine, because we don't want to mix that with firearms. And my wife is the server. She plays waitress, and she really gets into it. And we have a good time. Come on in. Welcome to date night. Have a seat.
Okay.
Get you started with some water.
Why did you guys take the class? What was the reason for you taking the class?
I want to know what she needs to know so I can help her.
I really don't care for guns too much,
Okay.
but I still want to learn about them.
Okay.
I have 4 kids, so.
Okay. So I tell a lot of people, somebody breaks into your house and comes in and takes your TV, you can't shoot them because you can't use deadly force to defend your own property.
It's just me and my kids. That's stupid.
Yeah. In Virginia, I can't use deadly force on somebody to protect property.
As a woman and a mom, it's frustrating because my first tactic is going to be to defend my children, to protect them, and I can't protect them by running because they're in the opposite side of the house, you know?
Well, yeah, and that's
Especially if they're coming to my house. I'm pretty much not gonna use it for any other time except for my home. But
think about the judge and jury. Do you leave your house and leave that person in the house with your kids, or do you go to your kids down the hallway? I'm going to go to the kids down the hallway and lock myself in the bedroom or barricade myself in the bedroom and say, I have a gun, don't come down that hallway. I have kids in here, you're scaring me. Call 911. 911 calls are recorded. Get that recorded. You're warning that person, put the knife down, stay away from me, don't come in this room, I have a gun, you're scaring me, I don't like how you're approaching me, stuff like that. But I don't know that you're going to get scolded for leaving your kids. You're protecting yourself. Right. So we're going to go through the class. What's your level of experience with guns?
I've had a gun class before,
okay.
But I've questioned whether I need a concealed carry permit at all. Anyways, because I don't plan on concealing it, and I don't plan on carrying it.
So these are basic fundamentals of shooting. Trigger squeeze is probably one of the biggest keys in hitting the target. If I have too much finger in the trigger because it's a small gun, I got big hands, when I go to shoot, I'm going to go right or I'm going to go left because the trigger squeeze isn't right. If we're at the 10-yard line shooting and I move the barrel that much, it's going to be this much at the target. And further back you go, the less forgiving it is. So today when we go to the range, if you're not hitting where you want, really think about that trigger. So with trigger squeeze, it should be when you're first starting out. Big breath in, let half of it out, slowly just squeeze until it goes off. Well, have you shot your Glock 43?
I've shot it twice, but because the recoil and the jerk action on it, I put it away and I don't want to touch it no more.
Let's rent that one, the 43, and then a 22.
It's pretty identical.
Should be good to go. Just make sure when you go in there, just set the guns down like facing downrange.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just make sure they stay downrange.
Right now. All right, here we go.
Have you loaded one of these before?
No, actually, I haven't.
Okay.
Probably not much different than a...
Yeah. So you start in the front.
Yep.
Get on target. Big breath in. Let half of it out and just squeeze as you're lining up through there. That's good. It's in, I think all of them are in the gray area.
Okay.
Yeah. From where you hit from the 15-yard line, that's really good shooting.
He still died. I lived.
You're up.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Get a good grip on it.
Okay.
And remember, always finger off the down. Even though it's unloaded, we always keep it pointed down range.
How many do you want me to put in here?
Put all of them in.
Okay, so do I spin it or anything?
When you put it in, just close it. So now it's ready to fire.
Okay.
And just slowly pull the trigger.
All right.
Good. So if you're shaking, if you take that deep breath in, you'll cut down a lot of those shakes.
Am
Couple
I
more.
shooting anything?
You did really good. Look where you hit.
No way.
Yeah, right in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's been neutralized. So that's,
I got him in the neck.
yeah.
Down.
This is our second date. Can I get number 3?
Yeah, this one's going to be hard to beat. That was their second date, and it's going to be tough for him to beat that one as far as his skill and doing something unique. It's going to be hard to beat that one. Dinner, gun class, and shooting range. That's just fun.
It showed that we had so much compassion, you know, so much love that, oh my goodness, we still have some humanity.
شو قلت له لخليه يضربك؟
انتوا اصلا شعب بلا اصل.
The idea itself started 3 years ago with a similar incident while I was living in Beirut. And just like the film starts, I was watering my plants. It's an old apartment, so the water leaked and fell on one of the construction workers, and he yelled because the water fell on him, and we had a heated exchange of words, and we ended up like yelling at each other.
عمي لما نخلص معه بدي اتمنى لو كان في 100 شرام بوجهه بدالي.
In Lebanon, it's still a volatile place. It's very dynamic. Lebanon is so dynamic. But also we had a past of conflict with the Syrian, the Palestinian, among the Lebanese, the left and the right, the conservative, the liberals, the pro-West, the pro-East. Lebanon is such a tiny place, but it really absorbs all those kind of things. That's why it's so interesting. So whenever you have that many conflict in such a tiny place, surrounded by so many countries, you know, we have on the south Israel, on the east, on the north Syria, we are on a hotbed of problems. Things could get out of hand.
أنا مني يسوع المسيح لحتى أبرم له خد التاني.
بس كأنك السود دتينا روا قال مصبئنا كل السود.
It's a very universal topic. So it's about solidarity and loyalty and standing up for each other, and that applies to every single person on this planet.
My favorite part in the movie was when the Muslims stepped in to save us Christians. It showed that we had so much compassion, you know, so much love that, oh my goodness, we still have some humanity in us. Oh my goodness, it is possible for us to come together, help one another, and be our brothers' keepers, be our sisters' keepers.
I had the chance to show the world what our religion really meant, because most of the people in this world, worldwide, people know Muslims as the terrorists, though my religion doesn't teach me to kill people, innocent people, in fact. Even a small ant, you can't kill it without a reason.
From the beginning of the whole project, the idea was we wanted to do that as a Kenyan film as well as a German film. It was always the idea we didn't want it to come as for German students and telling a Kenyan story out of a German perspective or point of view. It was always the idea making this to a Kenyan film.
This was such an impactful message and such a great story, and we really were so touched and really wanted to spread it out into the world.
This movie cuts across from religion to the police to the systems we have here in Kenya. It should change first the mindsets of everyone. And as I said, Muslims are not bad people.
95% of our crew and team was Kenyan. And I loved working with the Kenyan film crew. I love the filmmakers we met and we worked with because, you know, they really want to change lives, societies with their art. So there's a very great vibe in filmmaking here. That's what I love, and I really miss that sometimes in Germany. The news are full of tragedies and horrible stories, and it's important to recognize them. That's very important, but I think it is also important that you show people who do something great and who not fight with weapons against it, but with love and kindness.
This film is a major departure as far as the types of roles that black actors are given and the types of storylines that we see black characters in the midst of.
From this day forward, you will become sparrows, weapons in a global struggle for power.
What reactions do you get about the film in the climate that we are in now with women and Me Too and the character that you are projecting?
I think people feel so empowered. I think that to watch a woman take control of her body and her sexuality and use her mind to win, and she's always 4 steps ahead of everybody else in the movie. She's a lot of women in these parts of the world. They have to learn a level of survival that I can't even imagine.
Lady Bird, is that your given name?
Yeah.
Why is it in quotes?
I gave it to myself. It's given to me by me.
I want you to be the very best version of yourself that you can be.
So, Mildred Hayes, why did you put up these billboards?
My daughter Angela was murdered 7 months ago. It seems to me the police department is too busy torturing black folks and eating Krispy Kremes to solve actual crime.
What I wanted to write a really strong female lead of a movie, because the last 2 movies that I did weren't really that way inclined. Trying to capture someone who is kind of outrageously angry about a murder of her daughter, and her attempts at finding justice for that.
I guess you're Angela Hayes' mother.
That's right. I'm Angela Hayes' mother.
It is my responsibility to make sure that Wakanda does not fall into the hands of a person like you.
We have here a Marvel universe that is unapologetically black.
We are home.
There is a black superhero. There's a lot of people like us, and there's a lot of black children in the movie.
To see us occupy an African country with kings and queens and warriors, and it's so inspiring. It's an aspirational nation that really just kind of is rejuvenating to the human spirit.
This film is a major departure as far as the types of roles that black actors are given and the types of storylines that we see black characters in the midst of.
We want to see this. We support this. We encourage that more of this is accepted. It's 2018. We've had a black president. We shouldn't be just still having slavery movies. You know, we've seen those stories. We need to see more positive stories.
The best films, I think, we remember because they say something bigger. They say something about who we are as people, and I think the cultural aspects of Black Panther are what are going to allow us to remember it in years to come. So I think that it will succeed on its own merits as an action film, but I think that thanks to the talent of Ryan Coogler, that this will have a lasting value as this sort of perhaps sea change in Hollywood.
It's a vision of black people in power, and of black people having control over their own destiny. It's tapped the spirit, and that's why people are coming out in such numbers, bringing their children, dressing in ways, cultural ways of affirming. Yes, we are very clear about who we are.
Typically in cinema, when you see Africa, it tends to be stories about poverty and stories about resources being stripped, and here's the country that in our world is the most technologically advanced in the world. That's a great kind of an example to show to kids.
You know, it says like I said, like anything's possible.